Rise and grind cigar brands that I refuse to smoke. Let's get into this list. Hey, at Rise and Grind, we equip you, we share with you the best whiskeys, the best cigars. We help you to elevate your leisure moments. On this video, we're doing this for the people. This channel is for the people. And so I want to save you time, I want to save you money, I want to help your experience. And there's nothing like smoking a bad cigar. When you light that cigar, you're hoping to have this moment of retreat, this moment of rest and relaxation, and it's a bad cigar. And now, in some cases, you're gonna end up wasting an hour of your life smoking this bad cigar. At the very least, you're gonna end up wasting money. And so, I hate this. This is one of the worst things you can have in your life. I'd rather have a root canal than smoke a bad cigar. Now, there are some companies that consistently give us bad cigars. Now, as we go into this video, you know, we just talking from the heart. This is for entertainment. I'm not here trying to hurt anyone. I want to make sure that it's clear. These companies employ hard-working men and women. And so respect to the workers, but you work for a company that makes cigars that I think suck. And so we're gonna have some fun with this. I think some of the ones I'm gonna mention you expected, because we all know when I talk about bad cigars, I'm not just talking about maybe they had a swing and a miss. And so a lot of companies are pushing the envelope. There are some companies that I love. I love Foundation. I love 99% of the stuff they put out. But every now and again, they'll put out a cigar where I'm left scratching my head and I'm wondering, what was that about? Or why was that priced the way it was priced? It's going to happen. But then there's some companies where consistently they put out bad cigars. And so I'm looking for three things. Consistency, you're consistently bad. Bad value. You cannot take the hard-working men and women's money. And so I don't even care if you make bad cigars, you better give them away for cheap. Do not make bad cigars and charge a lot of money for it. Don't make mediocre cigars and charge a lot of money for it. Don't mess with our money. We don't play when it comes to our money. And so these cigars that I'm gonna mention, they are consistently bad value. They're just never priced right. And then simply put, they just don't taste good. And so let's just dive into this. First one, again, this list we all know is coming. Gurkha is a case where, you know, they say you ought to put quality over quantity. Gurkha just says, forget the quality, let's just blast the market with a whole ton of cigars. And so that's what I don't like about Gurkha. They're everywhere. You go in some humidors. In fact, Gurkha has so many different types of cigars or lines of cigars that you can't even keep track. Nobody even tries to keep track with the Gurkhas. Now, sure, some other brands do the same thing. CEO has a whole bunch, Rocky puts out a whole bunch. But what Gurkha does is just ridiculous. There's no one that could even tell you the kind of Gurkha that they like. They just put out so many cigars. And so it's quantity over quality, and it's just a lot of gimmicks. It's in fact, I believe the Mike Tyson cigar is a Gurkha. And so they're always going for some gimmick. The company really has no identity as far as cigars. And so I give Davidoff some slack, but they have high quality as their identity. Gurkha just doesn't have an identity. It's just crap upon crap upon crap. It's almost like they're just throwing out a whole bunch of crap, hoping it sticks. Sure, every now and again something's gonna stick. And so the 12-year cellar age reserve that they put out, that was pretty good, as well as the 15-year, their cellar reserve. But everything else is just absolute crap. So Gurkha, I'm never gonna smoke a Gurkha cigar ever again. It's bad quantity times bad quality. And so they've done both. Next one, Camacho. And so Camacho is a legacy brand, a heritage brand. And so I hate to say this, I hate to even mention them, but when I think about Camacho, I think about strength without taste. And so Camacho, they try to do this double this and this double that and strong and powerful. And it just ends up being these pepper blasts, these bombs. And it's almost like, well, where's the quality? Where's the excellence? Where's the taste? And so, sure, I'm not the biggest pepper bomb kind of person, but yeah, you look at a AJ cigar, like I've shown you. I may not love the profile, but I can find ones that are good to me, like the New World or some of the other ones that AJ puts out. Camacho it's impossible for me to find a Camacho that I actually like. And so for them, it's just this power without any persuasiveness. It's just this strength without any taste. It's just this, we're just gonna blast you with cigar and just hope you like it. And so no more Camachos for me. That's just something I'm always gonna walk by. No more Camachos. Third one is easy. We know the Cohibas are just absolute trash. And then I always like to just throw in, just say all the non-Cuban legacy brands. And so the Cohiba and the Monte Cristo. Now sure, you can find some in the bunch. There's a couple Monte Cristos that are pretty good. There are some cigars like when AJ does the H. Upman, that's a pretty good one. Or when AJ does the Ramon Iones, that's a pretty good one. But when we look at the stuff Cohiba New World puts out, the stuff Monte Cristo New World puts out, those cigars tend to be trash. Now Trinidad has one, I believe it's the Espirito. That one's pretty good. But most of the New World Cuban brands or Cuban legacy brands is just trash. It's just bad. It's just, they're taking the Cuban legacy name of these legendary companies like Cohiba and Monte Cristo, and they're just putting out bad cigars. And what I don't like I said earlier, it's one thing to put out a bad cigar, but when you put out a bad cigar and you put a lot of money to it, so that means you know the cigar is not good. You know it's not some well-aged tobacco. You know it's not some fine blend, but you're putting a price tag based upon the name. And that's just, look, on behalf of the people, you suck for doing that. So that's why we're not smoking any Cohiba Blue, Cohiba Reds, Cohiba whatever you put out. It's gimmicky, it's dishonest, it's just wrong. Make better cigars. And so we got two more to share with you. But hey, we do this for the people. I'm not here for the brands, I'm not here for the industry, I'm just here to help the people, because so many of us, when we get into cigars, we expect to walk into a humidor and we just figure whatever cigars are in there, if there's a bunch of them, we're gonna buy them. So if there's an entire wall for Gurkha, we figure Gurkha must be good. If we see all the Camachos, we figure that must be good. We see these names like Cohiba and Monte Cristo, we think must be good. And we're always left disappointed. Most of us cigar smokers, we spend years finding out what sucks. And I want to save someone that time. And so we're doing this to help you. If we're helping you, hit like, and also leave in the comments, help the rest of us. Let us know, what are some of the brands that are just bad? 10, 15 years ago, when I started smoking cigars, there was all these boutique brands coming up and they were all putting out good products. And now most of them have fallen off. And so, in fact, let's just finish out the list. We already know, okay, I'm gonna say Drew Estates. Drew Estate is number 4, and they kind of fit exactly what I just said. They were putting out some good products, and now they're just falling off. I do like the underground shade, but particularly when I talk about Drew Estates, yes, I talked about Liga Privada before and talk about how it's just so played out and redundant, but I want to particularly talk about the acid line. And I just want to say, hey, look, it's just bad. It's flavored cigars, and I could say, well, I'm not into flavored cigars, but those are just not good cigars. And so, listen, if you're smoking cigars, just smoke a good cigar. You don't have to smoke the acids, and because this is something that most of us do. We think we need to start there, and you don't need to start there. There's lots of great cigars, great tasting cigars that are mild, and so I would much rather just get you a good Connecticut, rather than getting you some kind of acid. And so they're just not good cigars. And for me, it's just something that I will never smoke. And lastly, number five on this list is all the brands who fall into hype category. All the brands who, instead of just making a good quality cigar, they try to work the hype machine. And so they try to, we know what they do. They try to use the influencers and try to push it that way. They use social media and try to push their products that way. They use the publications and push their product. They even try to start controversies and push their products. But what they don't do is just make good quality products. And so all the brands and all these new brands popping up, instead of just making good quality cigars, the brands who say, hey, let's do this. Let's get with the influencers and let's push our products that way. Look, I'm gonna start calling you guys out for doing that. Come out with good quality cigars. That's it. Let the product do the talking. Stop trying to use hype. Stop trying to use the hype machine. We can see you from a mile away. Just make good cigars. And when you make cigars that are bad and you're just putting hefty price tags on them and you're trying to create a bunch of hype around your product, a guy like me watches that and I'll start calling your name out. And so please, just make good cigars. So, did this video just to help the people, just to let you know, look, there's some brands out here that I'll never smoke. And these videos is just me talking to my friends. That's all this is. Because I spent years and probably spent a ton of money buying bad cigars until I started to figure out, okay, these are the companies that are actually trying. And it's not about cigars that I like. Look, you can tell when a company is putting their best foot forward. And so, sure, they might make a cigar that I don't like, but you can tell the consistency and the quality. You can see the effort. And then there's some companies out there, it don't even look like you're trying. And that's what we talking about. And so, we did this video to help our friends. Look, it's for entertainment, it's for education, it's to help us. And so if you bummed out, if your toes got stepped on, if you're mad, then come on, you know we don't really care because we're trying to help the people. And if we've helped you, hit like, hit subscribe. Again, help the people. Fill up the comments. The people have spoken. Like, comment, subscribe. But most importantly, rise and grind.